Hello, Sagittarius. I'm your intuitive host, Erin, and I'll be doing your weekly reading. Just want to thank you for the great support and the very positive energy I've been receiving. I really appreciate that. And now, let's begin with your message, Sagittarius. So we're starting with the Seven of Swords, the Two of Pentacles, the Four of Swords, and the Queen of Swords. So a lot of challenge, but we already know this, that challenge does not mean something negative. Just going to be a challenging week for you, Sagittarius. We have the Chariot, so hopefully that means you get to get away from the challenge. A little break there, a little vacation. We have the Six of Wands, so we've got some action to go with that challenge. We have the Moon, another power card. We have the Eight of Cups, some emotion, and yet another challenge card, the Five of Swords. So let's talk about that challenge this week, Sagittarius. So you always have that optimistic outlook. Your nature is to be optimistic and a little philosophical. So when you're facing challenge, being open-minded like that, having that philosophical nature about you, very, very good thing to have this week because you're going to need it, it looks like. So let's go ahead and start with that high challenge card, the Queen of Swords. That's speaking to victory over things that have been puzzling to you, things that have been a problem. So the Queen of Swords actually speaks to being able to overcome a challenge. So that's a very good challenge card to have. So it's saying that this particular challenge, or if you've had a big one that's been bothering you, this week is going to be the week where you get some clarity and you are able to have victory over that. So right off the bat, your challenge is going to be a boon to you, something good for you, something that's going to make your life easier this week, Sagittarius. Then we have the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords is, again, it's talking about that clarity, your cunning, your ability to keep things to the vest, keep things to yourself and use them to your advantage. You're going to be able to use that Seven of Swords toward that Queen of Swords and just make it that clarity, your ability to use strategy, the way that you are able to balance, that is going to come into play. That's going to be in your favor there with that challenge. And then with the Four of Swords, the Four of Swords speaks to taking time, knowing that you need to take time aside to get through something, to make a big decision. So So you know that you're moving forward. The Queen is telling you that there is something that needs to be, something that has been overcome, a problem that you have definitely been able to figure out. So now the Four of Swords is telling you, well, your challenge is to give yourself kudos, give yourself a little break, a little reward for being so cagey and so persistent with your ability to find the answer and relax and enjoy that. Give yourself a pat on the back. Break from your usual to recharge and realize you've accomplished something big. And then with the Five of Swords, the Five of Swords is talking about a wake-up call. So the fact that you had this initial thing, this initial problem that was so puzzling, figuring out how to get past that, that is what that Five of Swords is doing for you. The Five of Swords is that wake-up call. So you have been able to overcome this because you were steadfast. You were able to cut your losses, know when it was time to make a change, and you did. So all of your challenges are awesome challenges, ones that you will be grateful and very happy to rise to and get with. So that being said, let's talk about your standalone cards, your serious, your big cards. You have the Chariot. And now with the Chariot, in this case, for you, Sagittarius, I see this as being open to move on, to move out, make that not just a sense of travel, but that determined course, achievement. In order to get there, you have to be able to open to move forward, to move around. It can also be a warning for you that if you're doing things with too much swiftness, putting too much energy into it, it can be detrimental. So the Chariot is warning you with all this challenge, just embrace it as it's flowing, because as we said, it's initially starting with something that has been puzzling you for a while. This week it's going to come to fruition. You're going to figure it out, and you need to have that ability to just stick with it and be able to go where, possibly even physically, where you need to go to get this to work. We also have the moon, and with the moon, that is talking to your Pisces in your life. So if you have a Pisces that you feel would help you with these challenges, help you figure out the answer to this puzzling thing, seek out your Pisces. And with the moon, it's speaking to you trusting your intuition and believing that you have the ability to communicate divinely. So this is where you would be able to look beyond the surface, see beneath people's veneers. That might be part of what you were trying to figure out and what you needed to be able to do in order to get past that whole puzzling issue. So the moon is definitely speaking to that. So keeping your mind open and being able to see beyond and being open to things otherworldly, your spiritual ability. That's what the moon is talking about. So that's just bringing your spirituality and your open-mindedness to your intellectual, being able to connect those two, to see through people's veneers to get to that answer, to figure out that problem. We just have the one pentacle, the one money card, and with the pentacles, the two of pentacles, it speaks to balance and adaptability, being able to do what needs to be done in order to make sure your career and your money are correct. So that's a really good card to have. You're going to be able to, find a balance and bring those uncertain times into positive and forward moving. You can do this. Juggling your resources so that they all work so that you keep things going. Another reason why I'm thinking that Chariot is just saying that you are willing to move from place to place, what you need to do to get this outcome. And then we do have the the Six of Wands, and the Six of Wands speaks to victory and success. You are going to feel successful and feel like it was well deserved. So again, this is talking about these challenges that you're overcoming, the challenges that are actually you don't need to overcome them. They're wonderful challenges, and they're going to make this week so much more meaningful for you, improve your life. That optimistic outlook is going to be rewarded. You're going to really feel optimistic. So with that, with that Six of Wands, it's just saying, more victory, and maybe even some public recognition for this. And then last but not least, you have your emotional card. You have the Eight of Cups. With the Eight of Cups, it is a turning point. You are making a conscious decision to make changes for the better. So again, the challenges that you have are making you change for the better. The emotional card you have is saying that you are opening your mind as well as your heart. You're going to embrace that change. It's also saying, with the Eight of Cups, that's the one that speaks to communing with nature being a good conduit for this kind of decision making, this kind of life changing. And of course, you had the moon, and you see the card really speaks to the great outdoors. So with that being said, get outdoors. Get outdoors this week. Make sure that I'm thinking more exercise, moving, traveling, walking in particular. So get that blood flowing, get that blood going to your brain. Definitely take care of all yourself, your emotional self, your financial self, your physical self. So this week is a good week for you, Sagittarius, to just be true to yourself And that idealistic nature is going to definitely work in your favor. You're going to be doing really well this week, and your challenges are fantastic. So that is what I see for you, Sagittarius. Thank you for joining me this week. Please like and subscribe my little channel, and especially, excuse me, and please remember that essentially we all have a divine purpose. Embrace the universe and live your dream. And until next week, here's wishing you health, prosperity, and positive relationships. Farewell to you, Sagittarius.